We do a Blazing 5. I take this stuff seriously. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I take it seriously. And you know I like my underdogs. I like taking points. You're going to give me something, I'm going to take it. So here we go, our first Blazing 5.
That's a hot one.
Let's blaze it up.
Fire it up.
It's Colin's Blazing 5. Browns at Panthers.
Carolina at home -0.5 point. I like Baker Mayfield here at home against his ex-teammates. First of all, the Panthers had the most blown leads in the NFL last year, 10. They were in a lot of games. Sam Darnold made too many mistakes. Their defense is excellent. It was all year. Third fewest yards per play all year. That's against Jacoby Brissett, missing his starting center, who has a career passer rating in the low 80s and struggles to complete 60% of his throws. Carolina, back-to-back, has had drafts I like. Cleveland's using a career average backup. Baker has a history of being inspired for individual games. I'm going to take the Panthers and Baker 27-23.
Eagles at Lions.
Detroit +4. You may be able to get 4.5 today. Lions are 3-3 their final 6 games. And once Jared Goff got comfortable at the end of the year, he completed 69% of his throws, 11 TDs, 2 picks. So he was very good in his final 5 starts. They have 2 of the best tackles in football. I love their tackle tandem. And the Eagles could not get to the quarterback last year, second fewest sacks. Detroit, an inspired football team, not a great one, but they're at home as a dog. Dan Campbell, if nothing else, is a great motivator. I'm going to take the Lions to win one of the more entertaining games of the weekend. Take the points, 27-26.
Colts at Texans.
I know you think I'm nuts. I'm going to take the Texans +7. I liked the number more at 7.5. I'll go with 7. Here's why. Davis Mills was good last year. You just didn't watch him play. He was a rookie. He was second among rookies in completion percentage and touchdown passes and passer rating. And the Colts have lost 8 straight season openers. Matt Ryan, they're on another quarterback, and they don't really have yet a number 2 receiver. I think the Colts will win the division, but they're not dynamic offensively. Shut down Jonathan Taylor and their limitations over the top on what they can do. Again, Davis Mills is young and ascending. Matt Ryan's 35, and last year, he really looked old, did he not? I'm going to take a very close game. I'm going to take the Texans and the points. Colts win narrowly, but it's an in-division game. That's just too many points to lay in an in-division game for a team. Frank Reich and the Colts have been terrible in season openers.
Jaguars at Commanders.
Like it. I love it. Jaguars +2.5. I think they're going to win outright. First of all, they spent over $300 million in free agency. Teams that spend that kind of money in free agency usually improve. And they got Trevor Lawrence, an offensive coach. They got him Evan Ingram at tight end. They got him Zay Jones at receiver. They got him Christian Kirk at wide receiver, and they've upgraded the offensive line. Trevor Lawrence, completion percentage, if you start going last, week 18, remember that game he played at the end of the year? Looked pretty good. He's a bounce-back kid. Carson Wentz, total disarray for this franchise. It's another quarterback. He didn't have a great camp. There's controversy. Alex Smith said about 2 months ago, you can't concentrate on football with this organization. The Commanders' defense last year, for all the personnel, struggled mightily against the pass. I think the Jags are one of the surprise teams in the league this year. They won't be great, but in that division, they'll be a real threat week to week. I have them beating the Commanders 28-20.
Packers at Vikings.
Well, first of all, I've been on this one for about 6 months. Vikings +1.5. I don't know how they're getting points at home. They were in the most one-possession games last year, and that's with a lot of injuries and a quarterback that didn't feel supported. Kirk Cousins was one of 2 quarterbacks that had 30 touchdowns and fewer than 10 picks. Only Aaron Rodgers last year in the league did that. The Packers are usually great at home, but they were only a 5-4 road team last year, and they have struggled through the years with Minnesota. Alan Lazard is hurt. Christian Watson's hurt. Elgin Jenkins is hurt. Robert Tonyan, the tight end, off an ACL. The Packers are beat up. They don't have a number one receiver. I think eventually this receiving crew is tasty. But in game one, new coach, McVay's system, at home, getting points, I don't know. I think the Vikings should be favored. I'm going to take them 26-23 over the beat-up Packers. Packers have a lot of guys in that offense, left tackle, tight end, couple of offensive linemen coming off torn ACLs. So I got a lot of dogs. I took the slightly favored Panthers, then the underdog Lions, Texans, Jags, and Vikings. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.